Hello and welcome back to the deep dive. I'm so incredibly excited for this session today because we are doing something, well, something just a little bit different.
Quite different indeed.
Yeah, right? So usually we are wading through these massive stacks of business reports or, complex scientific journals trying to sort of make sense of the world.
And today we are looking at the tool we actually use to describe that world.
Exactly. We are looking at language, but not just like boring textbook grammar. We are looking at reality itself. We are looking at how we interact with the future, how we predict consequences, and how we warn the people we love about danger.
It is an instruction manual for logic.
Yes, an instruction manual formatted as an English lesson specifically for you, the listener.
And I must say it is far more than just a lesson. It is a survival guide.
I love that intensity. I really do. And usually, this is the part of the show where I start us off with a warm welcome, maybe ask you how your week was, chat a bit about the weather or the coffee we were drinking.
We do not have time for the weather today.
Right, because looking at our source material today, the tone is just so different. It is urgent. It is serious.
It is urgent because the concept we are discussing today is quite literally the difference between safety and danger. It is the difference between success and failure in communication. So I am going to dispense with the pleasantries for a moment.
Okay.
I want to give you, our listener, a warning, a very specific, severe warning.
Go for it. Lay it on us.
If you touch that fire, you will burn your hand.
Okay. Let us just unpack that immediately. That is visceral. It is intense. If you touch that fire, you will burn your hand.
Did you feel the weight of that statement?
I absolutely did. It is a warning, sure, but strictly speaking, if we were looking at the logic here, it is just a statement of fact, isn't it?
It is a statement of absolute cause and effect. And that is exactly what we are here to master today. We are diving deep into the first conditional.
Was conditional, right?
Now, to many people listening, that might sound like a dry, dusty grammatical term from secondary school, but it is actually the entire philosophy of consequences.
The philosophy of consequences. I really, really like that framing. Because when we look at the source material, specifically this breakdown of the first conditional, it is all about linking the present moment to a future result.
Precisely.
It is about you saying, I am doing X right now, and because of that action, Y is basically guaranteed to happen later.
The learner, and by that I mean you listening to this right now, often gets stuck in what I call snapshot mode.
Snapshot mode, what does that mean exactly?
You speak in single, isolated sentences. I eat, I sleep, I study.
Right, like a series of photographs.
Exactly. And that is fine for describing a picture. That is fine for a toddler pointing at things. But life is not a static picture.
Life is a movie.
Life is a movie.
Yeah.
It's a continuous sequence of events. If you want to speak English fluently and if you want to think logically, you must stop speaking in isolated sentences and start linking your conditions to your results.
So the mission for this deep dive is to get you out of snapshot mode, to get you to stop just observing the world and start predicting it, to take you from just saying, I see fire, to saying, if I touch fire, I get burned.
If I touch fire, I will get burned.
Ah, right. Will.
That will is absolutely crucial, and we will certainly get to the mechanics of that. But yes, that is our fundamental mission today. We are constructing the architecture of your future.
This is what makes this topic so fascinating to me. We aren't just learning how to conjugate some random verb. We're learning how to negotiate with reality.
You are negotiating with time itself.
Every choice we make right now in this exact second creates a specific future timeline.
Exactly. If you study, you will pass. If you sleep in, you'll be late.
Those aren't guesses.
No, they are not guesses. These are calculations. And if you cannot express these calculations clearly in English, you are entirely powerless in the language.
So let us get into the meat of this. Let us look at the actual mechanics. We have this thing called the first conditional. Our sources describe it basically as a formula.
It is entirely a mathematical formula for language.
And like any math equation, if you plug in the wrong numbers, or in this case, the wrong words, the whole thing just falls apart, right?
The entire structure collapses, yes. The first conditional is strictly designed for real situations.
Real situations.
We are not talking about fantasies here. We are not talking about if I were a dragon or if I lived on Mars. We are talking about highly probable situations, things that can and likely will actually happen today or tomorrow.
Real life. High probability. Got it. So what are the pieces of this puzzle? What goes into the formula?
It requires two distinct halves. You cannot possibly have a consequence without an initiating action. So the first half is the if half. This is the condition.
The trigger. The thing that starts the dominoes falling.
The trigger indeed. And here is the golden rule that you must burn into your brain right now. The if half must absolutely be in the present simple tense.
Okay, let us just pause there for a second, because that feels really counterintuitive to a lot of people.
I'm aware it does.
I mean, we are talking about the future, right? We are talking about a result that has not happened yet. So why on earth are we using the present tense?
That is the most common question I receive, and it is the source of the most common mistake students make. Think of the if clause as the anchor.
The anchor.
Okay, wait.
I am visualizing a heavy iron anchor.
It anchors us in the concrete reality of the condition. We are stating the condition as a present fact. If it rains. That is present simple. If I have time. Present simple. We are setting the stage firmly in the now.
So even though we are thinking about, say, tomorrow's weather, grammatically speaking, we are grounding it in the present moment.
We are grounded the condition in the present.
Yeah.
If this condition exists right now or as a general universal fact, then the result will naturally follow. Think of it as a computer simulation.
Oh, I like that. A simulation.
You are freezing time and saying, let us look at this specific scenario as if it is happening right in front of us.
I see. So saying if it rains is basically like saying, imagine a world right now where it is currently raining.
Exactly. And because we are imagining it as a current tangible reality, we use the present simple.
Okay, so that is the first half of the formula. The if clause uses the present simple. If it rains, what about the second half, the consequence?
The second half is the result. This is where we look forward. Because the condition has been met, the future is now determined. Therefore, the result half must be in the future tense using the word will.
Will, that is a really strong word. It is not might, it's not could or maybe.
No, absolutely not. Will implies complete certainty in this context. It implies a promise or a prediction that you are entirely confident in. I will stay home. I will call you. It is definitive.
So let us assemble the machine here. We have the condition in the present and we have the result in the future using will.
Correct. If it rains, I will stay home.
And I noticed looking through the source notes, there is a very specific mention of punctuation here, which, you know, people usually ignore when speaking.
Punctuation is the traffic signal of the sentence. You cannot ignore it, even in speech. If you start your sentence with a word, if you need a breath, you need a distinct pause before you deliver the result.
So if it rains, pause, I will stay home.
Exactly. If it rains, comma, I will stay home. That comma is the bridge between the present condition and the future result.
If it rains, comma, I will stay home. It is very rhythmic. It has a nice bounce to it.
It does have a rhythm. It separates the cause from the effect. It allows the listener a fraction of a second to process the condition before you hit them with the unavoidable result.
Now here is where it gets really interesting to me. English is famous, or I guess infamous, for being super flexible. We like to move things around. Our sources mention something called the flip.
Yes, the flip. This is where we test your grammatical agility. You can reverse the sentence structure entirely without changing the fundamental meaning.
So instead of cause then effect, we can actually say effect then cause.
Precisely. You can put the result first, I will stay home, and then you add the condition, if it rains.
I will stay home if it rains. Okay. And ideally, the meaning is identical.
The meaning is 100% identical. But the punctuation, the traffic signals change entirely.
The traffic signals disappear, right?
They vanish completely. If you put if in the middle of the sentence, you must drop the comma.
Oh, that is super interesting. Why is that? Why does the comma just disappear?
Because the word if acts as the connector itself. It acts as the physical bridge in the sentence. When you start the sentence with, if you need a comma later to show where that first clause ends, but when if is right in the middle, it literally ties the two parts together securely.
I will stay home if it rains. It flows in just one smooth line.
That is a brilliant visualization. If the glue is right in the middle holding the pieces together, you do not need the comma.
But if the glue is way at the start, you need the comma to show where the pieces actually join up.
Exactly right. I will call you if I have time. Notice there's no pause there, no comma. Just a direct flowing statement.
Okay, so we have the formula. If plus present comma will plus verb. And we have the flip where we drop the comma. But I want to circle back to something you hinted at earlier, the trap.
Ah, yes. The danger zone. The double will trap.
It sounds like a professional wrestling move, to be honest. The double will. But our sources are very clear here, saying that 90% of beginners fall into this exact trap. 90%. That is a massive number.
It is a massive number indeed, because it is a very logical error based on human intuition.
Walk us through the student's logic then. Why do so many people make this mistake?
Well, imagine you are a language learner.
Hmm.
You are thinking about tomorrow. You are thinking, okay, tomorrow it is going to rain.
Right.
and tomorrow I am going to stay home. So your brain naturally says, well, everything is happening in the future. Everything needs the future word will.
Right. Makes total sense. Future action plus future action.
So they open their mouths and say, if it will rain, I will stay home.
And that is when the big red buzzer goes off.
Wrong. Absolutely forbidden in English.
Why does English hate that so much? If it will rain, I will stay home. I mean, it sounds kind of redundant, maybe.
It is entirely redundant. English hates repetition. We are a remarkably efficient language in this regard. We do not like to double bag our groceries if one bag is strong enough to hold the weight.
Oh, I love that
A
analogy.
will, in the result, half, I will stay home. That single word is strong enough to project the entire sentence forward into the future. We simply do not need to say it twice.
That is such a helpful way to think about it. One will is strong enough to carry the weight of the whole sentence.
Correct. And there's a strict mechanical rule you can just memorize right now. Will never, ever goes inside the if clause.
Never. Like never, ever.
In this specific context of the first conditional,
Yeah.
never. If you see the word if the word will should not be its neighbor.
That is a really good visual check for the listener. If you are writing a sentence and you see if and will holding hands, you've made a mistake. Break them up.
Exactly. Separate them immediately. It must be if it rains. Present tense. Then I will stay home, future tense.
I think that tip alone is going to save a lot of people some serious embarrassment. It is one of those mistakes that immediately flags you as a beginner, isn't it?
It certainly does.
Yeah.
It makes the sentence sound terribly clunky and unsure. When you drop that first withard, well, you suddenly sound confident. You sound like you actually know how the machinery of the language works.
Now, we have talked about rain and staying home, which is a very neutral, harmless example. But earlier, right at the start, you used the fire example. If you touch the fire, you will get burned. That felt a bit more intense. And looking at our notes, there is a whole section here on negative boundaries.
Yes, indeed. The first conditional is a phenomenally powerful tool for negotiation for parenting and for setting firm personal boundaries. It is exactly how we construct threats and promises using the negative.
Give us an example of a negative boundary.
If you do not leave, I will call the police.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that is a very serious boundary.
It is serious. But look closely at the grammar. If you do not leave, what tense is that?
That is the present simple negative. Do not, don't.
Precisely. And the result? I will call the police. Future positive.
So you are mixing the negative condition with a positive action.
Correct. Or we can have a chain reaction of double negatives. If she does not study, she will not pass.
Does not and will not.
Yes. Does not is the present negative.
Yeah.
Won't is the future negative, which is, of course, short for will not.
That feels like a domino effect. If the first domino does not fall, the second one won't either. Or rather, if the first negative condition happens, like not studying, the negative result not passing is basically guaranteed.
Precisely. And mastering these negative structures is absolutely crucial. It is how you express the severe consequences for inaction. If I do not hurry, I will miss the train. It is not just about what you do, it is deeply about what you do not do.
That really drives home that actions have consequences theme we talked about, because inaction is also an action.
Inaction is a choice. And the first conditional predicts the exact result of that choice.
This is getting so deep. I love it. Okay, we have the theory down. We have the formula, the flip, the trap, and the negatives. But as you always say on this show, knowledge without application is just.
It is just trivia. It is entirely useless. You cannot learn to ride a bicycle by reading a textbook about physics. You simply have to get on the bike.
So we are going to move into the active part of the session. We are calling it the drill. And we have a very specific pedagogical rule for this today, right? The 3-second rule.
Yes. The 3-second rule. This is designed to simulate the actual pressure of a real conversation. When you are talking to someone on the street or in a meeting, you cannot pause for 20 minutes to draw a grammar tree in your notebook. You have to connect the dots instantly.
Connection, not perfection. That is our motto for you today.
Correct. I want you, the listener, to try. Even if you stumble, even if you get the verb slightly wrong, I want you to try to make the connection.
And we are going to include something really special here. We are going to use repetition loops, because just hearing us say it is not enough. You have to physically say it out loud. Your mouth muscles actually need to learn the physical shape of the grammar.
Exactly. I will say a phrase, and I want you to repeat it out loud wherever you are. Do not just think it in your head. Speak it.
Okay, here's how this is going to work. You, the expert, are going to give us the raw materials. You will give us a condition and a result.
And you listening have exactly 3 seconds to assemble those materials into a flawless first conditional sentence.
And then we will give you the correct answer so you can check your work. Are you ready? Let us take a deep breath.
Let us begin. Drill number 1, we will start with the basic structure. Condition. You eat too much candy. Result. Get sick. You have 3 seconds.
Take a breath. Think about the anchor. Assemble the pieces. Okay, time is up.
The correct answer is, if I eat too much candy, I will get sick.
Let us break that down just to be sure. If I eat, that is our present tense anchor. I will get sick. That is our future tense result.
Now, I want you to repeat the correct sentence out loud after me. If I eat too much candy, I will get sick.
Did you say it? Come on, do not leave us hanging. One more time with feeling. Speak up.
If I eat too much candy, I will get sick.
Perfect. That is simple cause and effect right there.
What?
Let us move to the next one.
Let us keep that momentum going. Drill number 2. Condition. The weather is nice tomorrow. Result. Go to the beach. 3 seconds starting now.
Remember the trap. Do not fall for the trap. Okay, time is up. How did you do?
The correct answer is, if the weather is nice, I will go to the beach.
Did you catch the Wesson in there? If the weather's nice, not if the weather will be nice.
Exactly. The condition remains firmly in the present simple. Repeat after me out loud. If the weather is nice,
Good. Now the second half.
I will go to the beach.
Awesome. Now put the whole thing together smoothly.
If the weather is nice, I will go to the beach.
Excellent job. Now let us make it a little harder. Let us do the flip.
All right. Reverse your thinking entirely. I want the result first. This time, result. I won't buy the car. Condition. It is too expensive. Remember, put the result first. 3 seconds.
This one is tricky. Think about the traffic signals. The comma. Okay, time is up.
The correct answer is, I won't buy the car if it is too expensive.
Notice that smooth flow. I won't buy the car if it is too expensive. No comma, no pause.
Repeat it and focus heavily on that flow. Do not pause. I won't buy the car if it is too expensive.
One more time. Smooth it out.
I won't buy the car if it's too expensive.
Very good. Now for the last drill. Let us do a negative. These are the ones we use for boundaries and threats.
Let us construct a warning. Negative condition. You do not hurry. Result. Miss the train. 3 seconds.
Think about the negative present. Okay, time is up. Did you get the do not in there?
The correct answer is, if I do not hurry, I will miss the train.
If I do not hurry, that is the present negative anchor. I will miss the train. That is the future consequence.
Repeat the negative condition after me. If I do not hurry,
Nice. Now the consequence.
I will miss the train.
Now the whole thing as a single warning.
If I do not hurry, I will miss the train.
Excellent. If you got those right, you are quite literally starting to rewire your brain. You are moving from slowly translating in your head to relying on actual instinct.
And that is the ultimate goal. We want this to feel entirely natural to you. If X, then Y. It is the fundamental rhythm of logic.
It really is. And I want to emphasize that this practice should not just stop right here when the deep dive ends. As you go through your day to day, look at your life through this lens.
Indeed. When you pick up your car keys, say to yourself, if I leave now, I will be on time. When you look at a restaurant menu, tell yourself, if I eat the incredibly spicy burger, I will need a lot of water. Narrate your own life in conditionals.
That's such great homework. Turn your own internal monologue into a continuous grammar drill.
It is undisputedly the fastest way to learn a language.
So we have covered a massive amount of ground today. We have established that the first conditional is specifically for real, highly probable events. We have learned the fundamental formula, if plus present and will plus future.
We learned how to avoid the catastrophic double will trap.
We did. And we practiced flipping the structure and using negative boundaries.
We have built a remarkably solid foundation for expressing cause and effect.
But, and there is always a but, isn't there?
There is invariably a but. We stated at the very beginning that this structure is strictly for real life, highly probable situations.
Right. Rain and trains and studying, tangible, real stuff.
But what about the unreal? What about your dreams?
Oh boy, here we go.
What if you won the lottery tomorrow? What if you suddenly had the ability to fly? What if you were the president of the world?
I mean, I can say, if I win the lottery, I will buy a huge boat, right?
You can say that if you genuinely think it is highly likely you will win. But if you know it is just a dream, a fantasy, a 1 in a billion chance, the grammar actually changes shape entirely.
It changes shape.
Completely. The ironclad rules we learned today, they suddenly bend and warp. But I am afraid that is a story for another time.
You're such a tease, you know that.
I am merely setting the agenda for our next session.
Okay, well, so that is the teaser for everyone listening. An upcoming deep dive is going to be called The Dream, where we cover the second conditional. But for today, for right now, your job is reality.
Your job is to deeply respect the connection between your present actions and your future results. Practice that connection constantly. Because if you practice, you will improve.
Ah, see what he did there. If you practice, you will improve.
I try to live by my own rules.
That is the first conditional in action, folks. But wait. Before we fully sign off, I just want to circle back to something. I feel like we breezed past something super important for the listeners who might still be really struggling with the concept of using present simple for the future.
You mean why we absolutely must say, if it rains, instead of
Yeah.
if it will rain?
Exactly that. I feel like we gave them the rule like, hey, do not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't fully explore the feeling of why. Because in a lot of languages, you actually do use the future tense there, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
In many Romance languages, such as Spanish, Italian, and French, the underlying logic is future condition equals future result. So it is incredibly natural for a speaker of those languages to want to place will in both halves of the sentence. It feels logically sound to them.
So if you are listening to this and you keep making this mistake over and over, please do not beat yourself up. You aren't bad at logic. You are just instinctively applying the perfectly good logic of your native language to English.
Correct. You are essentially running the wrong software on the hardware. You simply have to update the driver.
And the update is this whole idea of the anchor. I really like that image you used earlier. Can we dig into that just a tiny bit more?
Certainly. Visualize time as a physical timeline stretching out in front of you. You are standing right in the middle. That spot is now. To your right, stretching away, is the future.
Okay, I'm picturing it. A long road.
When you formulate a conditional statement, you are stepping forward and planting a heavy flag. You are declaring, let us assume, this specific condition is a solid, verifiable fact.
Okay, a solid fact.
Facts live exclusively in the present tense. I am here. Sky is blue. It rains. When we say if it rains, we are actively pulling that potential event out of the murky floating future, and we are sticking it onto the timeline right now as a concrete reality for the sake of the argument.
Ah, that is so good. So if it rains is basically saying, hey, imagine a world where it is raining right now in this exact moment.
Exactly. In the reality where it rains, which is present, the unavoidable result is that I will stay home, which is future.
That makes so much more sense than just telling someone, memorize this rule because I said so. It is all about simulation. You simulate the condition as a present reality just to see what the future consequence is going to be.
Yes, it is essentially a simulation engine if I touch the fire. In my simulation, I am touching it right now, I will get burned.
Yeah.
That is my prediction based on the simulation.
I think that really helps explain why putting will in the if clause feels so fundamentally wrong, because will is all about distance. Will is about way over there in the future, but if will actively tries to bring it right here, right now, to examine it.
Precisely. Will pushes the concept away from you. If will pulls it close to you. You simply cannot have both opposing forces acting on the exact same verb. The physics of the language will break.
Physics. It seriously always comes back to physics with you, doesn't it?
Language is physics. It is composed entirely of opposing forces and structural integrity.
Speaking of structure, I also wanted to touch on that comma rule again. We mentioned it, but I want to make absolutely sure people understand why it matters so much in actual speech. Because, let us be real, we do not speak commas.
I disagree entirely. We absolutely do speak commas. We speak them using silence.
Oh, say more about that.
When you are reading a book, the comma is just a little hook on the page.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are speaking out loud, the comma is a physical pause. It is a necessary breath. If it rains, take a breath, I will stay home.
And that breath is really crucial for the listener to keep up, isn't it?
It is paramount. If you do not pause, you rush the logic of the sentence. If it rains, will vary, stay home. It sounds incredibly panicked and rushed.
Yeah, it sounds like one giant scrambled word.
It creates a sense of anxiety in the listener. But if you utilize the pause correctly, if it rains, I will stay home. You sound completely in control. You sound authoritative.
So the comma isn't really just about proper grammar. It is about pacing. It is about charisma.
Charisma is very often nothing more than good grammar combined with excellent timing.
Mind blown. Seriously. Okay, and then for the flip. The version where we say, I will stay home if it rains. Why is there no pause there? Why no silence?
Because the entire energy of the sentence is fundamentally different. When you start with the result, I will stay home, you are making your main declaration immediately. Boom, I will stay home.
You are putting the headline first, so to speak.
Yes, the headline of the news is I am staying home. The condition that follows is just the fine print at the bottom of the page, if it rains. So you do not need a dramatic pause because the main impact of the sentence has already been delivered.
That is a really interesting psychological difference. Think about it. If it rains, I will stay home. That sounds like I am slowly weighing my options.
Correct.
But I will stay home if it rains. That sounds like I have already made my decision and I am just informing you of it.
There is a very subtle but important shift in emphasis.
Sure.
Yes. The first structure emphasizes the condition,
Right.
the rain. The second structure emphasizes the result, staying home.
So if I want to warn someone, like going back to your fire example, if you touch the fire, you will get burned. In that one, I am really focusing on the action of touching it.
Yes.
But if I say you will get burned if you touch the fire, I am really focusing on the pain, the burn.
Exactly. The core meaning remains the same, but the spotlight moves to a different part of the stage.
This right here is exactly why I love these deep dives. We can take a super simple beginner sentence and realize there are these deep layers of psychology buried right underneath it.
There are invariably layers. Language is never just surface level.
Let us talk about those negative boundaries a bit more, too, while we have time. We did that quick drill on, if I do not hurry, I will miss the train. But I feel like this is where the first conditional stops being grammar and becomes an actual life skill.
It is the absolute language of negotiation. Think about a legal contract. A contract is essentially just a long list of first conditionals.
Oh, wow, you were right. If the tenant does not pay rent,
The landlord will evict them.
if the project is not finished by Friday,
We will lose the client.
it is literally everywhere once you start looking for it.
It is the very structure of accountability in society.
Mm.
And using the negative correctly is quite difficult for learners because you have to mentally manage two separate not ideas at the same time.
Yeah, that double negative juggle. If you do not do this, I won't do that.
If you do not clean your room, you won't go to the party.
That is the ultimate classic parent trap right there.
It is highly effective because it directly links the negative behavior to the negative outcome without leaving any room for argument.
And it kind of puts the responsibility entirely on the other person, doesn't it?
Correct. It frames it not as I, the parent, am punishing you. It frames it as the inescapable logic of the universe is punishing you.
I am merely the humble messenger of the first conditional. Do not get mad at me. Get mad at the grammar.
Exactly. If you do not clean, you won't go. It is presented as a law of nature akin to gravity.
I am definitely going to try that on my friends this weekend. If you do not buy the appetizers, I won't buy the drinks.
That seems like an entirely fair and logical trade.
Right. It is a boundary.
It's a firmly established boundary, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we have really, truly squeezed all the juice out of this particular lemon. We have covered the mechanics. We have done the psychology, the common mistakes, the social applications.
Well, you've indeed been extremely thorough.
Is there absolutely anything else about the first conditional that we should maybe mention before we wrap up for real this time? Maybe something about pronunciation or like the contraction all?
Ah, yes, that is actually a vital point for sounding natural in conversational English.
Yeah.
Throughout this session, we have been intentionally saying, I will very clearly. I will stay home. But in fast, natural conversation, we almost invariably contract it.
Right. All. Spelled I''LL.
Yes. If it rains, I'll stay home.
Oh, it sounds exactly like the word aisle, like walking down the aisle at a grocery store.
Indeed it does. If she calls, I'll answer.
That is so much faster and smoother.
It is. And the same rule applies heavily for the negative form will not. We almost always use the contraction will.
If you touch that, you won't like it.
Precisely. We rarely ever say you will not like it unless we are trying to sound like a robot or we are extremely violently angry.
Oh, yeah, like if you say if you do that again, you will not like the outcome. That sounds terrifying.
That is a threat of severe magnitude, yes.
But if you just say if you do that again, you won't like the outcome, that is more of a friendly warning.
A friendly but firm warning, correct.
So using contractions is absolutely key for nailing the right tone.
Contractions are essential for conversational flow. If you want to sound fluent and relaxed, you must use
Let's finish early. We'll go get tacos.
Absolutely perfect and culturally appropriate example.
And a perfect motivation to wrap this up.
I should think so.
All right. We are actually going to wrap it up for real now. This has been a massive, incredibly detailed deep dive into a very specific, very powerful piece of grammar.
The first conditional. The inescapable logic of reality.
We really hope you feel a little safer around fires now.
We hope you feel significantly more confident in making your predictions.
Do not forget the homework. Narrate your life constantly. If I turn off this deep dive,
I will unfortunately have to go back to work.
if I practice what I learned today,
I will become a master of English.
see, it works for literally everything. Thank you all so much for listening and practicing with us today. Catch you in the next reality.
Goodbye and good luck with your conditionals.
Bye, everyone.
Wait, one final thought before the recording stops.
Oh, we are still going. Okay, hit me.
Think about this. When you finally master this structure, you're not just learning new words. You are fundamentally rewiring how your brain perceives consequence. People who lack the language to express future consequences often struggle to plan for the future. By learning the first conditional, you are quite literally giving your brain the software required to make better long-term decisions. Grammar isn't just a set of rules. It is the operating system of human thought.
Wow. Okay, that is going to keep me up at night. Grammar is an operating system of thought. Thank you for that final mind bender.
You are most welcome.
All right, now we are really leaving. Take care.